Hello everyone, this is Dino Chris from Prehistoric Facts. This is Prehistoric Facts Extra Episode number 38, and you can tell on the bottom of this title, this is about the Therizinosauridae family, and so this is basically just giving you information about the family group of the Therizinosaurs. Now I'm not going to go through every single species because that's going to take a long time, so I'm going to keep this video short and sweet, and so let's actually get started. So Therizinosaurs, they are a theropod. So they're part of the theropod family, so which is the group of meat-eating dinosaurs. And the part of the group of theropods that Therizinosaurs belong to is the Coelurosauria. And so the Coelurosauria, it is very different from the Carnosauria. And so you get towards the Avitheropoda, and then it goes to different branches right here. So the Coelurosauria pretty much actually kind of begins with the Tyrannosaurs. And so the Tyrannosaurs are right here. They're the big meat-eating dinosaurs, and you got your different kind. You got your smaller Tyrannosaurs right here, and then you get towards the big guys right there. But then you get to a branch right here where it actually gets really, really weird. You actually get to the Ornithomimosauria, and so you get some weird-looking guys here, but then you get the weird-looking, really weird-looking ones like Dinochirus, and then you got your ostrich-like dinosaurs, which are called the Ornithomimids. And then you branch off get away from the Ornithomimids, and then you actually get to the Maniraptora. And the Maniraptora is where you actually are going to find the Therizinosaurs. And the Therizinosaurs are this part right here in the middle. And there's many kinds of species, but you get the small one, which is a prototype of a Therizinosaur, which would be Falcarius. And then you get towards the more iconic, weird-looking weird dinosaurs called the Therizinosaurs. Therizinosaurs, in my opinion, are like one of the weirdest-looking theropods because they are just so unusual in their design and all that. And so, courtesy to Tom Holtz, who actually has created this phylogeny right here. So this is a well done phylogeny right here in terms of the Coelurosauria, but he does get more in depth with each phylogeny of the each branch here. We get some more info on the Therizinosaurs. They were first described in 1954. So 1954 is when you actually have the first Therizinosaur actually being discovered. So in the 1950s, and that was all in Mongolia. So in Asia. So Asia is where you actually are going to find the Therizinosaurs. And it was by a Russian paleontologist, Maleev. And Maleev actually was the paleontologist from Russia that actually gave the name Therizinosaur, the Therizinosauridae. But it was mainly Therizinosaurus. And Therizinosaurs have been around on the Earth from 94 to 66 million years ago in the late Cretaceous period. So that's the only time they've been around. Now, Falcarius is a bit older than that, but it's a prototype of a Therizinosaur. So Falcarius kind of belongs into its own type of family, basically. And then in terms of the diet of Therizinosaurs, it's still debated. Most paleontologists believe they're omnivores, but there are some paleontologists believe they're herbivores, and the herbivorous part is still debated. You've seen a lot of TV shows that say they are herbivorous, but a lot of books that you're actually going to read, they're actually going to say they're probably more likely omnivorous, where they'll probably be eating like smaller animals, but they will be eating plants majority of the time. So they're more likely going to be omnivorous, so they'll eat both plants and meat. Characteristics of Therizinosaurs. Well, Therizinosaurs, like I said, they're bizarre theropods. And so, one characteristic of Therizinosaurs is that they got a long neck for a theropod. I mean, you can count the oviraptors or even the ornithomimids, they got long necks. But Therizinosaurs have a much longer neck compared to their body size. Then you actually have a small head, and so they're and it's very well known as well with the ornithomimids, is that they got small heads for their body size, and so did Therizinosaurs. And Therizinosaurs uh, have very small heads. Now that does not mean they were actually like dumb or anything like that in terms of their brain, in terms of brain capacity. They were probably smart enough to actually adapt to their environment. So let's just get that out there. So, and they got a pot belly, so they got a big belly. So in order to digest vegetation, you need a big gut, and that is the only reason why that Therizinosaurs have that pot belly, is so that way it can actually digest all that vegetation in its gut. Because when you're having a diet that is mostly consisting of plants, and you're used to, in like your ancestors used to eat meat, then it's gonna take a good amount of intestine in order to actually digest plants. So that's how you actually are going to get that dif- difference right there. Because eating meat is a piece of cake, whereas eating plants, it needs a little your gut needs to do a little bit more work. But good thing that Therizinosaurs chewed, because they chewed their food. And another characteristic of Therizinosaurs is that they got long arms, and so they have the biggest arms amongst dinosaurs. And when you actually look at Therizinosaur arms, some of them are actually 10 feet long, and for one arm. For one arm, it's 10 feet. That is unbelievable. That is just pretty big arms. That's so the best equivalent that I can think of for Therizinosaurs in terms of a modern day animal is probably like a grizzly bear. Because grizzly bears, they're omnivorous and they actually have long arms with big claws. And that's another characteristic of Therizinosaurs, is that they got large claws. And because see, when some predators that actually get to see a Therizinosaur, like say a raptor that has never seen a Therizinosaur before, it's going to get confused. It's like, is this a meat eater or is this a plant eater? Because I see it eating plants, but it's got the claws of a carnivore. But yeah, but that's why Therizinosaurs are are one of the weirdest dinosaurs. Even though Dinosaurus has got some weird features, but Therizinosaurs are just plain right weird. And so you actually get the idea is that how they're designed is pretty much kind of like a panda. Pandas are a pretty good example for Therizinosaurus. Is that they use those claws to actually drag branches towards their mouths because they need to eat the plants off of the trees. And of course, they could be good defensive weapons as well uh, to actually slash the face of the predator, because that's where you want to aim, is the face of the predator, because in that way the predator can just get out of there, because there's no reason to continue to fight to take that animal down, because you're more likely to get injured a lot more if you continue the fight. And so all the Therizinosaurs actually have to do is just basically show off their huge claws, and a lot of the predators would pretty much stay away. But juveniles and juveniles, on the other hand, they're very vulnerable, and so the juvenile Therizinosaurs would actually be very vulnerable to predators. And here's some known species of Therizinosaurs. I did get the spelling a little bit off here on Therizinosaurus. There should be another U in between the A and the R. But this is Therizinosaurus right here. This is this beautiful color right here. And you can see how large it is compared to a modern human. And this is the name meaning of Therizinosaurus scythe lizard. I'll get to more in depth with each species, with like numerous species of Therizinosaurs in special episodes. So you can just let me know if you want me to do some special episodes about some Therizinosaurus and certain species. So you guys can just let me know. And then on the right here, this is Nothronicus, and Nothronicus, it was found in North America. It was the first Therizinosaur to be discovered in North America. And when scientists actually kind of first found it, it was kind of weird to see a Therizinosaur being in North America, because a lot of Therizinosaurs are found in Asia. And so, but compare the size to a modern human, it's medium size. It's a medium sized Therizinosaur. And so that's how you actually get the two known species of Therizinosaurs. And so you got Therizinosaurus and Nothronicus. And so And again, I apologize for the misspelling on Therizinosaurus. So the next episode will be on May 21st, 2020, and that will be a Q&A episode. So if you got any questions about dinosaurs or any other prehistoric life, feel free to email me at dinochris71@gmail.com, or just go to my Facebook page, Prehistoric Facts with Dino Chris. Like the page, you actually post your questions on the wall or in the comment section, but mostly in the comment section. And also for YouTubers out there, like every video, subscribe to the channel so that helps me out, and let's get to 300 subscribers. And also put your questions in the comments section, because I would like to hear, I like to see some of your questions in the comment section. I do read them, and I'll give you a shout out with those with those questions. And also remember to keep your questions short to the point. You can also follow me on Twitter at CSGRALL. That's my Twitter page. I post pretty cool stuff on there. Also, take care of the people around you. Also, for younger people out there, to make sure to listen to your parents, your teachers, and your guardians. It's the best motivation you can have a good education. It's very important to have a good education. With a good education, you get a good job in the future. And let's all thank the doctors and nurses and the first responders for in this kind of time, is they have been on the job, on the front lines. They have done some great job. They're doing a great job in trying to keep people healthy and safe. And I rather listen to uh, the medical professionals in this kind of time. So let's thank all those doctors and nurses and first responders. If you've got people that you know that are doctors, nurses, or first responders, or even anybody in your family that is a doctor, nurse, or first responder, thank them. Thank them as much as you can, and that way they know they're being heard by the public, and they need that. They need all the love and support. And that's it for now, and I'll see you guys next week.